the men have been kind of silent. Please speak up. What do you feel?
I feel that there's not a lot of representation of highly intelligent women, because there are I know a couple personally who are like much smarter than me. I'm very highly intelligent women that have accomplished a lot, and we just don't see that.
And we need to see that more.
Yeah. Like a Sailor Moon.
Because we have to honor each other. Because women have intelligence.
But one thing I think needs to be addressed is the human side, and not just the superhuman, nothing can touch them.
Human side.
But to show that they do have weaknesses, they can cry, they can bleed.
And men, likewise, that men need to be vulnerable and sensitive, that men can cry. Yes.
I have kind of a three-parter, but I'm having a hard time articulating, so I'm going to need some help from the group.
Go for it.
The first one had to do with House Moving Castle, where you have this woman come in and just take over the situation. Like, I remember there was a scene where, what's his name, the little dude comes out and she's cleaning house and she's going on a coming on a rampage, and she says there's a witch on a he says there's a witch on a rampage in there. And she's just such a strong character, and I can't really identify what it is, because she's in there, and she just takes over the situation.
Kind of our issue where we're looking at it and we're trying to figure out, we know what makes a strong male character, but what makes a strong female character so much more
The thing with Sophie, if you read the book,
that's why we run into this
Dan Jones.
her motivation is explained deeper because she figures
Which character is this?
Sophie, House Moving Castle. In the book, she's even better.
House what?
House Moving Castle.
Oh,
By
yes.
Miyazaki.
Yeah. And it's written by Diana Lynn Jones.
Yeah, who was an awesome author.
Yeah. Love Hexwood.
Anyhow, you said you had a three-parter.
Right, okay, well, that was the first part, was the woman comes in and takes over the situation. The second one just left me, so I'll go to the third one. Which is, I see a lot of strong female characters that are, like in Soul Calibur. Who's the one? Sophia. And she's there and she's like, "Rah."
But there's a woman who's trying to be a man.
Right, but see, that's just it. What I would like to see with that is the relationship, because when you look at the difference between men and women, men are kind of, well, I mean, this is just my take on it. Men are kind of like we're getting things done, and women are how we're doing it. It's the emotional play within it, and so I think to have a strong female character, you're really going to have to look at the emotional side of it and see how she juggles her men and how she reacts with them. And I think a lot of the strength, because I've read a few books where you see it, and they have that significant other, but that's not their world.
That's like Makoto in Ghost in the Shell. She's a very strong female character. She knows how to control the men around her and be able to not use and abuse them, but control the situation and put enough emotion to it. More of like a task manager, but on a more feminine side to it.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that they create. It's not procreating. It's not that they're bringing forth children. They're bringing forth ideas.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's a strong difference between men and women in this, because men tend to be problem solvers. They have wonderful ideas, but they like to be problem solvers. Women like to have ideas, but they're not as much problem solvers as they are. We ruminate over a situation, and we discuss it, and we feel it until we find the solution. So our approach to things, the end result, hopefully is the same, but how we go about it is different. And so, I'm sorry, just a second. When we have the strong female character who's being a task manager and solving it in a masculine way, that is not the way women deal. And that's a strong differentiation that you're talking about.
I remember the second part of it, and it's Samurai Champloo. There's Fu, and now she's a tiny little thing. Have you ever seen Samurai Champloo? Which you may remember it, but she manipulates these two men, and she gets them to do everything for her. And she doesn't use the normal sexy wiles thing that you give as a stereotype. She tricks them.
She cons them, basically.
And gets them to run around and orders them around and yells at them and throws things. And it's great fun. But there's, and hidden under the stereotypical business that there's that strength of character there. She is on a freaking mission. There is point A and point B, and you're helping me.
How old is she?
She's like 17.
But she looks like a stereotypical 14.
Yeah, looks younger. Well, I mean, this is what we need to explore, and I don't think that if we had more normal, one of my favorite Disney films is Beauty and the Beast. And I love it because this is a woman who is smart and intelligent, Belle's character. And emotionally she's caring and wants to problem solve, but she goes about it in a way that is more feminine. And she's not the stereotypical Disney look also. She has a little bit more of a real look. And I think that if anime were to stop doing the stereotypical, big hair, big eyes, large busted, Playboy image, that the audience would still be there because the storytelling is so strong in anime. Now, we discussed earlier, and you said, I said to you, I have a feeling we feel the same.
Well, I asked her about it when you said, close, a little bit different.
Well, tell me what your take is.
Well, I asked her if you mentioned Sailor Moon, and that's really what I wanted to hear you.
Yes, I did. I talked about Sailor Moon because Sailor Moon is, again, she wears this sailor costume, but again, it's the Playboy, and it touches on male fantasy. So, where is the role model for women?
But I don't think it was intended to be a male fantasy.
I know it wasn't intended.
Actually, it was.
No, actually, it wasn't, because Sailor Moon and the rabbit was taken in Japan culture, it was taken after Serena, the rabbit.
Yeah.
The
So
rabbit.
Her name got translated over to Serena for the English version.
Well,
Because that name has allusions to the movie.
and, but it wasn't, this is the interesting thing between Japanese anime and American or English-speaking anime, that we have tailor-made it, and I think the Japanese anime is trying to please Western anime, in that what was started to be a different kind of an image has become more the Playboy image, and that's because of the U.S. market.
Well, I think
But that wasn't the intention originally.
Well, that's certainly what made it, so successful, is all the boys who got into it.
And it was a male-dominant market. But when you look at all these conventions, how many young girls are here? And who are the role models for all these young girls? I mean, do they all have to look like Playboy bunnies? Do they all?
I want a girl who dresses practically, because there's no way you're saving the world in high heels and a miniskirt. And looking good while you do it. And why does she get the manicure and the transformation if she's just gonna wear gloves? It's a waste of money.
There's a model right there.
Well, I think
Yeah.
we have to think about too is, what do we bring to this? I mean, the mindset we have as Americans is very, very different than certain mindsets they have in Japan.
Yes.
Our archetypes are different, our mystery is different, our myths are different.
Well, we come from a different theological background.
Yeah, and so we have to think about, that does change how we view some of those people too, because they're being perceived in a completely different way. We're perceiving it in the way we're familiar with, and that's not necessarily accurate.